Say, where is my shame when I call your name? So please, don't set me free. I'm as heavy as can be. I will do you harm. I will break my heart. I'm a victim of your charms. I want to be dead. When I'm in bed. I can be so mean. You can beat me. I would like to shame you. I would like to blame you. Just because of my love to you. And love itself is just as innocent as roses in May. I know nothing can drive it away. Though love itself is just as brief as a candle in the wind, and it's greedy just like sin. Alone but sane, I am a love suicide. 'Cause love itself is just as brief as a candle in the wind. It is pure white, just like sin. Alone but sane, I am a love suicide. 'Cause love itself is just as innocent as roses in May. It is pure white, just like sin. Led through the mist by the milk light of moon, all that was lost is revealed. Our long bygone burdens, mere echoes of the spring. But where have we come, and where shall we end? If dreams can't come true, then why not pretend? How a gentle wind beckons through the leaves as autumn colors fall, dancing in a swirl of golden memories, the loveliest lies of all. Hello, we're back, and Evelyn is hidden behind the poster. There we go.
Help.
She is the poster. But yeah, guys, what's up? We are people. I didn't put our names on the screen. That's fine. Sometimes I do. I didn't this time. But anyway, I'm the normal one, and this is my friend. Where is she in the corner? This corner. That's
The
Jaffa!
not normal one.
The not normal one. The weird one. Oh
Whoa.
my goodness. I've been getting hit with bots so hard this past stream.
Damn.
So literally these keep popping up as likely ban evaders too. Like they're getting flagged as like this is probably the same thing. And I'm like, Jesus. Anyway, we are here. And Caitlin was supposed to join us, but she had personal business, so we love her, we wish her well, and it's just gonna be us two, so that's okay. We can hold it down, I think. I think we can try. But yeah, we are here to hype and support the Halloween writing showcase that is happening soon, in a few weeks, honestly, in about 21 days from today. And so I'm gonna hide Jaffa again while I put the poster back up. She's gone. She is eaten by the poster. But the Halloween writing showcase is an event. This is their third year doing it, where we have people. There we go. We have people write short horror stories, and I'll put it in front of my face. We have people write horror stories, and we give out prizes, and it's just a fun way to express creativity and celebrate Halloween, especially on stream. So yeah, we have the short stories and the 2-sentence horror story categories, and we have lots of prizes and stuff this year. Very exciting. Some of these prizes include, check this out, this sticker that you can get if you are a participant at all. You get this sticker, that's the one for this year, and you can choose this other sticker that was drawn by Jaffa. Woo! So we've got artwork, prizes, shit's happening, so we're very excited about that. Yeah, and this is all to just hype you up for that. This is just hype, because we're very good at internet, therefore marketing. Don't question it, don't think about it too much. Alright, so we did this last year for the first time. We're doing it again this year. I wrote a series of 7 writing prompts that Evelyn and I both decided to write to, and so today we're just gonna share. I'm gonna put the prompt on the screen, and then we'll share what we both wrote for the same thing, and that's what's gonna happen. And they're not all horror themed, they are random themed, like pretty much genre crossing random. Some of them you can approach from any angle, so we'll see where we go. Yeah, maybe we'll switch off between who reads first, who reads last, for every prompt, just to keep it spicy, because we don't have that many people.
Yeah.
Alright, so our first prompt. Our first prompt, as I put up, that should not be the first one. Did I lose it? Oh, I did lose it. Hold on. I will fix. I made a mistake. Okay. But our first prompt is something that will be on the screen shortly.
The suspense.
The suspense.
Ideal.
Okay. It's like super simple too. It's like not even that bad. Do. And then okay. So, there's the real prompt. Okay, so prompt number 1 is make a nonsensical D&D character with a big personality. So, Evelyn, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay, I'll go first. I will start us off for the stream. This is so stupid. Okay. I have to put my glasses on too. It's coming up, guys. Don't worry. Like, not all my ideas were good. Some of these I'm like, wow, this is really cool. And some of these I was like, I'm answering the question. It is legally an answer.
Yeah, some of them I was like, this is gonna be short. Here's the basic idea.
Yeah, okay. So I need to clean my glasses too. Am I prepared for streaming? Yes, I am. I'm a professional. But anyway, this is great. I have a voice and everything. I have a voice for her. Some top-notch reading is gonna be happening here. 1 second. Okay. Oh my god. So here we go. My character, her name is Cynthia Leaf Charter, is an elven archmage wizard who travels the planes of existence to collect and learn all secrets of the arcane. Her alignment is absolutely neutral, which means that those who know her usually see her as either a force of good or evil, since she is ready to share any and all of her secrets at the drop of a hat. She doesn't believe in good or evil, only knowledge. And she also speaks solely in a transatlantic accent and talks really fast, like a reporter of yesteryear. So if one were to approach her, she'd come off like she was in a hurry, which of course she always is. And then I wrote some dialogue for her. Okay. Elminster? Why, of course I know Elminster. Oh, did you mean Elminster the man? No, sweetheart, I was referring to Elminster the cat. We call him that because he's always getting underfoot. Anyway, my alarm's just gone off, and these religious types just hate it when I turn up in their restricted temple section. Sally up for a fight! And then she teleports away, leaving you behind.
Wow.
So there she is, my archmage, Cynthia Leaf Charter.
That's so good. I love the idea of a D&D character who just tells you anything because she's like, I have the scoop.
Yeah, she's got the latest scoop. Also, I love that she's just like, well, this seems like a bit of evil. Gotta keep it in my notes. Like, just any and all information, and she just like shares it willingly. She's not like, for the good of the realm, I must be secret. She's like, I don't give a shit. You want to know how to build a nuke? I will literally tell you how to do that. I do not care.
Yeah.
All right.
Aaron's redeeming things.
Oh, he is? I like looked away from
How
Twitch for
dare
a second.
you?
Disguise self. What am I gonna do? I have a few things. I will do. Let's put this one on. I haven't worn this one in a while.
Ugh.
So many redeems.
Here, I made this.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I should put my other one on. Yeah.
Christ.
I know, with headphones and stuff, it kind of messes it up. 5 disguises? Well, I put glasses on.
You will not get 5
so that
disguises.
counts as 1. That's enough disguises. We gave you 2. All my points. I mean, you can have a pumpkin.
But all my points. I'll go over there and I'll disguise you.
Whoa.
Does that sound good?
I'm just gonna throw a pumpkin in here. Will be sent to the poorhouse? You didn't even add anything to the D&D thing. Alright, there you go. 1 random pumpkin for you too. It's like not sitting well.
Let's hold this in front of my face as a disguise.
It's like a traditional disguise where you're just like, you can't see me.
You can refund your own points. How dare you?
The power of moderation. That's funny. Well, then I'm not putting this pumpkin on. You don't deserve it. Taking it off. Okay. Evelyn, tell us about your D&D guy.
Okay. My guy. I didn't give him a name.
That's fine. He doesn't need a name.
Anonymous D&D guy. Oh god. Oh Jesus
Oh
Christ.
god, you're under attack.
Whoa. Aaron gave me a pumpkin.
Whoa.
It's the one that you grew.
Yeah, I'm like, did I grow that pumpkin? Yay!
Yes.
He's a baby.
There's like mold growing on it still, which is kind of crazy, but it seems fine. Alright, I don't know where to put. There we go.
Make Rahatia
Alfino has it now.
Alfino eat it.
Okay, my guy, he's a protector Asimar. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's the
Yeah, an
the
ASMR.
D&D class where you're a celestial instead of a fiend. It's like tieflings, but good.
They're just angelic tieflings, yeah.
Yeah. So the different subsets are you can like be a fallen Asimar if you fail your divine quest. But this guy's a protector Asimar, which means he's still on his divine quest. He's a fighter, but he's an anti-establishment punk in name only. He constantly claims to love disrespecting the government and vandalizing guard barracks, but in actuality, he's always following his divine missive and complying to his lawful good nature. He'll basically be apprehending petty thieves and demolishing unlawful cults, all while saying, "Yeah, man, I'm all about anti-authoritarianism. These corporate pigs are nothing but slaves to capitalism." Anytime he summons his angelic wings, he immediately uses prestidigitation to color them black and add patches representing various punk and alt-rock bardic bands.
Hell
His
yeah.
celestially blessed white hair is always covered in patchy dye work. Somehow the coloring never seems to stick, but that doesn't stop him from trying. It is unknown whether or not he is aware of the irony of the conflicting nature between his statements and actions.
I love that though. That's so funny. He's great.
Right.
I would love for that character to show up and you're like, are you gonna arrest me or help me do crime? And he's like, yeah,
like-
totally. And you're like, totally what? What does that mean?
Right. He's like in denial that he's still being an angelic guy.
Yeah.
It's like, I totally left that behind. Like, I'm not like that anymore. And then he just
Continues to
turns
do
into
it.
bad guys.
Yeah. So good. He's like a narc. Like literally a narc.
Yeah, but pretends that he's not.
He's pretending to not be a narc.
And you're like, do you know?
Yeah, are you aware of what's happening? He's like, you said you weren't a narc. He's like, I'm not. And they're like, sleeper agent? Narc? All right. So the next prompt is, we all hated them, but the time has come. Give a pitch for a Mary Sue character. What setting does it exist in, and what does a normal person look like in comparison in this universe? Yeehaw. So Evelyn, you get to start us off with the Mary Sue. Mine's insane, and I hate it.
Okay. Oh, hello, Mercury. So my Mary Sue is I did this just to trigger Elle, mostly because
I read it and I was very triggered, so you did a great job.
Yeah, I was like, I might be messing up some racial things, but I did open up the wiki. So
It's
she's a
pretty
Lord of the
accurate.
Rings. Yeah,
Mad.
she's Lord of the Rings Mary Sue. She's the child of a Maya. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
Like Maiar is plural, so
Yeah, the Maya.
And an elf woman. This Mary Sue appears as a beautiful elf, young and slender, but her eyes are a kaleidoscopic array of iridescent colors, and subtly glowing lines of magic cover her skin. Her long, pale hair glistens in sunlight, and is typically pulled up into complicated braids. Her list of abilities, okay?
That's
she can
the most
cast
important part of a Mary Sue is a full paragraph list.
Yeah. So she can cast spells like any kind of, like D&D sense of spells, because, I don't know, in Lord of the Rings, people aren't casting spells that often, but like,
she can.
when Saruman's, like, throwing Gandalf left and right, she can do that. She can just cast any kind of spell that you might think of. She can telepathically communicate with and tame animals, particularly dragons, because those are the coolest animals. So she totally has like a dragon that she can just call on. She's like, "To me!" And the dragon comes to her. She can change her physical form to any organic being so long as her total mass remains the same. That's because on the wiki, the Maiar can just like shapeshift, and I'm like, well, she's half Maiar. There has to be like a restriction, so she can only shapeshift if it's a like living organic thing and if it's the same total mass as her.
Sure.
So she can turn into like a small tree if she wanted to. But
she could be the Ent wife that's missing because there are no Ent wives. She's
yes.
like, I'm the Ent wife now.
I have to re-establish the Ent civilization because I'm so special.
God, you could. I hate it.
And lastly, she can turn invisible, because I thought that was important. She
literally the One Ring
is...
power.
Yeah, right. She's like, I have that, but I can just do it normally. I don't need a ring to do it. She's supernaturally gifted at archery and sword fighting, of course, because she's got to be badass. And her blood has powerful healing properties, which gives her like a reason to be targeted by people. She's like, oh, they just want my blood. Oh, I'm so delicious.
I'm so delicious. Classic problem.
Yeah, for any Mary Sue. She's the princess of all the elves in the utter west, but she returned to Middle-earth as a sacrifice for some elven prophecy, like something crazy's going on. This is like many years after Lord of the Rings, so they're like, oh, there's a new prophecy, we have to send our princess back to Middle-earth, and she's like, oh no, my people cast me away. So she's all sad about being cast out, but she puts on a strong front because she's a girl boss.
You gotta be a girl boss.
She saves the lives of Sam and Frodo's great-great-great-great-grandchildren, because I don't know how many kids they had. Also, you can interpret that as like Sam and Frodo's individual grandchildren, or the children they had together, because that's also valid.
Because fanfiction rules.
Yeah. Then she saves all of Middle-earth somehow, probably just an exact plot repeat of Lord of the Rings. But with more girl power. The great-great-great-great-grandson of Aragorn falls in love with her, and she has one beautiful baby through mitosis or whatever. It's like weird accelerated pregnancy like Bella. I forgot I wrote that. Because girls can't get pregnant normally. That's like disgusting. So it has to be a magical pregnancy.
Magical pregnancy. Yeah, where you're pregnant for like 2 weeks and it's like a painless dry birth. You're like, and then the baby pops out. Problem solved.
Yeah. And then all the elves in the West apologize for sending her away, and they beg for her to come back. But she builds her own new elven kingdom in Middle-earth with her hot boyfriend and becomes the queen, and all the elves come back to Middle-earth because her kingdom is so cool and perfect. That's the end.
Yeah, and I have to say, thanks, I hate it. But also, you definitely hit the nail on the head in terms of a Mary Sue character. It's really good. As I love that it was Lord of the Rings. Yeah, some of the prompts, okay, to be open, I told Evelyn this earlier. I wrote all of mine this morning. Literally, I just sat down and typed all mine out. Evelyn, like, took a few days. She, like, had time. So, what I also did is some of the prompts, I, like, read yours, and then I was just like, oh my god. And then I would kind of come up with an idea. Some of them I didn't. I was explicitly not looking at yours. Like, for the dystopian one, I was like, I don't want to know it. I don't want to be informed. Anything I got stuck on, I pretty much read yours. And I did get stuck on the Mary Sue, and I did read yours. And I was like, Lord of the Rings! But in response to that, let me move my screen around a little bit.
I raised you one Mary Sue.
In response, I wrote a Final Fantasy XIV Mary Sue.
Yay.
Because they're all Mary Sues. No.
Yeah, I'm like, every Warrior of Light is a Mary Sue, and we love them.
Yeah. So mine is, I'll just read it as is. Final Fantasy XIV Mary Sue. Let's call her Maria Strife.
Yeah.
She seems like any Warrior of Light, but she has a super version of the Echo that no one else has, so she can literally teleport between the different Final Fantasy game stories. Like, she can be in Final Fantasy VIII. She can just jump into any Final Fantasy. So, of course, she's the hottest hottie that anyone's ever seen, and all the major characters immediately comment on it, even the bad guys, even Leviathan the sea serpent icon gives like a screech in appreciation, like, because she's so hot.
Nice tits!
Because of this, she can master any power in the Final Fantasy franchise, including things like helping build stuff that doesn't make sense in one world with her knowledge of the other. Like, she could just build the Sister Ray from Final Fantasy VII in any of the other ones and just be like, we have the Sister Ray. Or she could help Clive get an airship, which was a big issue in Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, fuck off,
She could
mid.
just build an airship because she just knows how to do that. So all plot holes are fixed. Immediately. She probably has dual-tone light blue and pink hair and a cotton candy-like palette, and some long and insane style of Final Fantasy. That's what she looks like. Also, she probably has huge tits. Let's be honest. She's got like Tifa titties. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, she's like, Tifa, I'm exactly 1 centimeter larger in diameter.
Yeah, she's like a little bit hotter than Tifa. Fun hair. All powerful. Okay, so her downsides are her absolute quirkiness. But don't worry, everyone finds it endearing, so they all love her anyway. And she doesn't fight any of the bad guys because they all immediately fall in love with her, and then they have to work with their enemies so they can be close to her. So, LOL, Sephiroth and Xenos are on my fucking team, dude.
Yeah.
She also has the uncanny ability to make any and everyone okay with an open relationship, so she can legally smooch literally anyone and no one can get mad.
Damn, they're all like, I understand this woman is so appealing that I can't possibly have
tie
this
you
myself.
down. So that was my Mary's.
That's so good. I love it. I love that every guy has to hit on her immediately.
Yeah, it honestly, I was inspired a little bit like when you and I go down the rabbit hole of looking up random 14 people's like OC backstories, and somehow they were all like, everyone was like, I was actually there before the end of days, and I also was dating Emmett Selk and Hythla Days at the same time, but also I'm from the current timeline, and also Xenos is my boyfriend. And I'm like, how are you dating all of these men throughout history at the same time? Your character doesn't make any sense. But that's what I figured would be the Mary Sue. Except she could jump to any Final Fantasy man, so she's not limited. Or woman, maybe.
Right, that makes her like so cool and mysterious because she's only in a certain game for like a small amount of time. They're like, where do you always go? I only see you so shortly. And she's like, I've got like 10 other games to hop to. Bye.
Right. With every Final Fantasy iteration, she becomes stronger. Because she has like decades of gaming history to back her up. It's so good. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Those are some good Mary Sues.
Mary Sues. I have not made a Mary Sue since I was like 15, so you know, the muscle doesn't go away. It doesn't atrophy. Okay, here's the big one. I love how they have these powers and just use it to get men. That's all they do. Right? Could I save the world? Of course. But could I have 10 boyfriends? That's the goal. Last year, we wrote about magical schools, but this year we're doing Dystopian YA. Describe your dystopian society and what type of inevitable factions exist in this world. Okay, which is... not that one, this one. Dystopian YA! So I went last, right? So I have to go first now.
So you get to go first.
Oh, that's Evelyn's words. These are not my words. We're on the same Word document, so, like...
Yeah.
Alright. So, like, here's, like, the back of the book blurbo. This is written in the most convoluted way, because I can't focus. Anyway. Resources were running low, the temperatures were getting out of control, and humanity had a choice to make. They could either die fighting each other for the scraps left behind, or band together to work towards a future. That's the history they taught us. That's the story that's unraveling before my eyes. Dun dun!
It's a good blurb.
It's just like The Pretties. Yeah, The Pretties is a dystopian... I can't believe they made that into a show, because that book is old as shit. But yeah. Anyway, so this story takes place in like 150 years from current day. So our MC lives on a large spacecraft, one of many, that lay in a geostationary low Earth orbit. So basically it always hovers over the same part of the planet at all times. Where humanity has escaped the harsh conditions of the degrading planet's surface 75 years ago. The MC was born on this craft, which is officially classified as the XX, but is colloquially called the Crisscross.
Crisscross.
It's called Crisscross.
So cute.
The MC is a late teenage girl who is nearly done with her training for ship repair, which she is very proud of. All members born of the crisscross must undergo training to support the community as a whole, and ship repair is the most necessary and most difficult. MC is on the highest level of training, the kind you only get if you never fail out of an assessment, which means that she'll be able to go across all the crafts in her line of work, working only on the toughest issues that pose the most risk to her fellow humans. Life on the
She's
crisscross.
the best ship doctor we've ever seen.
She's the best ship doctor we've ever seen. And she's also like, I don't know, 18 or something, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
I've never failed a test before. She's that kind of.
Wow, so relatable.
So relatable. So life on the crisscross is all she knows. Though through her early training, the one that all children learn, she knows the history of her people. They orbit the planet called Earth below them, and the people below couldn't care for the planet properly, which ultimately rendered it useless and dangerous to the very creatures that were created there, like all the life, right?
That God created.
Whoa, added a religious element to this story. To remedy this, a band of elite geniuses of the Yester people brought their technical know-how together and planned a last bastion for humanity. The Exodus, with a capital fucking X.
Yeah,
Can you tell
so
what
cool.
I'm doing? The Exodus was a series of crafts, the first ever to be built entirely in space, and it was supposed to bring the last vestiges of humanity to a place of safety where they were claimed before they were claimed completely by the surface. This, of course, created an issue, as not all the billions of the people on the planet could be saved, so it was the newly formed leaders of this project who had to painstakingly collect and craft a list of the brightest minds of their time to take aboard the ship. To keep numbers low, this unfortunately had to not include the bright minds of the humanities, but only those of technological fields. The day of the Exodus— Get fucked art! No artists! No philosophers! We don't talk about morals here! The first day of the Exodus came, and humanity was forever saved in the floating cities in the sky. The crafts were self-sufficient with the appropriate skills on board, and there were teams that worked tirelessly to keep the crafts afloat. There were 7 crafts floating: the Nexus, the Dawn, the Bard, the Tycho, the Elysium, the X, and the Double X. Each of these crafts ran under its own organization, though the heads of each craft, called the Exalted, with a capital X, because I'm making commentary, the Exalted formed a collective board that made decisions across the board for all who were part of the Exodus. So now they plan to keep humanity alive and well, with the next plan to go to other planets in the solar system and continue the Exodus project. Because basically they can just make ships that float around planets, so just build more around other planets. They don't have to land.
Yeah.
The MC has been hearing about the continued Exodus since she was little, and it's getting to a point where the plans are coming to a head. So with her elite training, she is hoping to be a part of the first mission abroad, though she has a lot to prove to get to that point. Okay, now that the basis is started. I wrote so much about this. Okay. Throughout the story, the MC graduates from her training and is sent to the sister ship of the Crisscross, which is called the Cross, colloquially. It's just X, but we're just keeping it cool. Once she gets there, she realizes it is way nicer than the Crisscross and is really confused about that. And she supposes since no one other than the most skilled repairers travel between the crafts, that it's not common knowledge, what any of the other crafts look like, because everyone just kind of lives their entire life on this one ship. So she is greeted by the Exalted of the Cross, the very descendant of the main figures who created the whole project to begin with. And that lady tells the MC that this ship is different because of the way things were when the Exalted first built it, and how the Crisscross bears the hardy style that those born of the Exodus should hold. So she's like, yeah, it looks really nice, but that's just because it's from the culture of yesteryear, okay? This isn't us doing a thing.
They were too flashy back then.
Yeah, you guys are the real America. She's pretty much saying that. Okay, So the MC is comforted by this, but is a bit confused and upset when she's put to work on the Cross. The tasks she's given seem underwhelming to her, and she quickly grows bored with the busy work. She's getting doing things that aren't like the worst problems you can tackle. She's just doing like basic shit. She's like, why did I go through why did I get a PhD for this? So she asked her supervisor for a challenging task befitting her training, and hoping to get rid of her, she is assigned a task that none of the other elite repairers want to touch. There's a small moving craft that has been stuck out in space that needs to be extracted since a member of the Exalted has been trapped somewhere. So she agrees to the task and is sent out on a small, self-driving moving craft. The moving craft has a little AI on it that she could talk to, and it helps her with assessing data and stuff. And so she asks it some questions about where they're going while they travel, and it says that the location is redacted, but the coordinates seem to move all the time. She finds it strange and is excited to see the place that they go to, and they make it, and her world view is shattered. AI best friend. So basically, there's a pod stuck in the landing bay of the ISS.
Wow.
I'm very creative. That she needs to fix. And the Exalted is waiting in the ISS for her. The ISS has undergone 150 years of updates, so it's hella nice in there. Very cool. She meets with the Exalted, who's kind of a dick about everything, even his own rescue, and she meets some of the strangers there. They are human, but they seem really weird to her. They speak the same language, but they have like a strange accent. They don't seem fazed by her, but she is absolutely lost. There are other humans in space, just freely floating in this strange station. One of them gives her a helping hand with the extraction because he's an expert on the station. And while they work, she's told that he's from the surface of the planet, and she's shocked because things are absolutely twisted with what she's hearing and what she knows. So they get the craft out of the way, but she asks if she can go down to the surface because she wants to see for herself. And the Earth people are like, yeah, okay, that's like not even that weird. And so she leaves with them after the Exalted leaves because she gets the feeling that the Exalted wouldn't want her to know about the planet. And so Earth is kind of fucked up, but it's doing fine. Like, you know, all that end of the world shit did happen. It's in a cyber paradism or solar punk state. There's some fun words. Where people seem to live in biodomes, but the Earth is like kind of recovering. But people, like, humanity can't live on the surface necessarily, but we live in these like big structures that are just more vibing with the Earth, very tech focused. Mm-hmm. So the tech of the time has advanced by 150 years because humanity didn't die off, it just kept going. And she learns that it wasn't really all of the brightest technical minds that formed the Exodus, but rather rich billionaires of the planet abandoning the people instead of helping. Oh my god! Space Exodus! Oh my god!
So fun. You wrote this all to be like, fuck you, Elon Musk.
I hate Elon Musk a little bit, can you tell? Okay, the minds that were brought were other rich people who paid to get the project funded and thus a seat on the ship, and the best employees of each company of the billionaires. So this was a very dark time for humanity, but the regular people, those who are actually the best in their fields and didn't abandon the planet, came together and formed new ways for humans to live.
Wow.
Well, on
billionaires trapped in space, the rest of us figuring it out.
Yeah, we just figure it out without them, and we thrive while they're like stuck in the past. Like, I imagine her technology is probably closer to the technology of now, where the Earth tech is like the future. Like, it's crazy because we're like, yeah, we just kept building shit.
Yeah.
And it stagnated up there. Let's see. Okay. While on Earth, she experiences crazy tech development, amazing food, human-made art, as opposed to the AI art that is common on the crafts back home because everyone has to be a freaking drone and work all the time. No one's creating art. It's only AI. And then she feels guilt about being from the Exodus, though no one blames her personally, but they hate the Exalted, who are regarded as scoundrels on the surface due to their explicit nepotism and elitism manifested into a narcissistic commune in space. She is returned to the ISS and asks if she can return, and the people she meets are happy to take in refugees from the Exodus. She returns to the Cross, then returns to the Crisscross, and shares with her family what she's learned. They don't believe her, but after looking into it, like the logic-based drones they were raised to be, They found what she says has truth to it, but instead of being descended from rich people, like when she goes down, she's like, oh, I must have been one of those rich people. They are not from the rich people. Her and her family find that they were descended from those who were brought aboard to work as essentially slave labor for the wealthy elite.
Damn.
The family finds historic records in the files aboard the ship, hidden that, like, proves this, and they come to the decision that they need to rally the lower class and escape. And I'd probably end book 1 there, and then make it a duology where the second book is about taking the power away from the Exalted and escaping in droves to the surface. Also, the love interest would probably be a super cool, super smart girl from the surface who's a friend of the one astronaut that takes the MC down to the surface. He's like, anyway, here's my friend, and then just like, whoosh, hot chick. No. Yeah, so... Okay, the cool girl will show her around the planet and show her that life is beautiful, and even though she's been so far removed from humanity, she's like still human and can still create. And also kind of view the romance as more of like a platonic, asexual kind of romance. Like they're still cute, but like not necessarily banging. I don't really see that. Love of the mind, not of the flesh, is what I wrote. And then the factions.
So scientific.
Yeah, it's like new age sci-fi. We're like above that. Book 3 where it's revealed that the adults helped you are evil. Oh my god, right? Then we learn teenagers are the best. So the factions are split amongst the different crafts, where the crisscross is the slave class, the cross is the elite, and the other ones, which I didn't want to put names to, I came up with all those fucking names, but who cares about which one's which? They could be anything. There's like a wealthy class. They're not like the elite, but they're just wealthy. There's ones who are prized workers, but they weren't wealthy initially, but they get like a spot. There's those who create and curate AI, and thus all creative works on the ship. And there's those who create propaganda for the masses. They're like descended from old politicians. And there are those who detain and manage law and order, like punishers of those who transgress. So there is like a torture house.
Wow. Torture ship.
Yeah, and I figured if I were to really write this, there would probably be like a notable character in each of these ships, so we would get a little glimpse into them. But that was my dystopian YA.
Wow, it was so good.
Yeah, I liked that idea.
It.
It's me shitting on Elon Musk for 5,000 pages.
Yeah, now would be a good time to like publish it while everyone's like, yeah, I'm hyped on SpaceX. They did a spacewalk, everybody. And then you're like, I know what's really going on. And then in like 100 years, they'll be like, oh my god, this dystopian YA novel predicted the future. Is aliens are real?
Right. Yeah. This would be a good time. Because I love also dystopian. Dystopian, the genre is just built to reflect, like, it's all about, like, commentary on society, right? So I was like,
yeah. What
are my fucking stupid views? Last year I wrote about how I hate academia. This year I wrote about how I hate privatized space industry.
Wow. So topical.
We're
I just
so
think
topical.
Of random things.
Your ideas are so good, though. I'm just like SNL. I need to reference something happening right now. All right.
Okay.
Evelyn's
so, yeah.
YA dystopia.
Mine is like kind of the same, but instead of in space, it's underwater.
I did read yours immediately after writing mine and realized we pretty much wrote the exact same thing except in opposite directions. Like, opposite directions. Also, like, last year you had a female main character and I had a male main character. Now I have a female main character and you have a male main character. We just, like, ships in the night.
I know, it shows that, like, Elle is of the space and I am of the earth because I didn't think about space travel. I was like, that's too much for me. We're going down into the ocean, guys.
We're going down in an early around. Andrew Ryan. Yeah, it's just Bioshock.
Yeah, that's all. I was like, oh, Bioshock, but like bigger?
And I'm Bioshock Infinite in the sky.
There's enough Elon propaganda to have historians be surprised, except for that one really good historian that looked more into it. Yeah, right?
God, yeah.
They'll be like, we all thought that people didn't like him because he was a loser, but actually some people didn't like him because they could feel the evil inside of him. Okay, here's my dystopian YA. It's set many years in the future. Climate change has caused the world to be devastated by repeated natural disasters. The inlands are torn apart by storms, frozen solid or roasted dry in unrelenting heat, and the coasts are completely submerged by rising sea levels. It escalates to a point where half of the US is covered in an unending storm, while the other half is constantly experiencing massive earthquakes and fires.
This is California,
Humanity.
baby.
I know. Yeah, I'm like, California in like 20 years, but. So it's happening all over the globe. I just gave the US as an example because I don't fucking know the climates of other places
fair.
on the earth. I'm American, why would I know that? Anyways, humanity's solution to the progressively harsher environment was to build an underwater metropolis where humans could live unaffected by the unbearable climate on the surface. All scientific pursuits were dedicated to underwater technology, and thus multiple subaquatic cities were established around the world. Only, like Els, only a relatively small percentage of humanity was able to be accommodated in the new cities, meaning many were left on the surface to struggle and inevitably succumb to the surface climate. Transportation networks between the cities are largely underwater as well, such as using submarines for long distance and scuba diving for like nearby travel. I liked the idea of a story that has a lot of scuba diving because that's not really something you see very often. So, however, a few railways remain and are generally the last bastions of human occupation on the surface. So, like, most of humanity died off. Some of them are living in these railway networks, but the lucky people who got to go into the underwater cities, mostly based on like position and power, are living freely, kind of. Various underground communities exist, like subterranean communities, but they are small and isolated compared to the large-scale underwater cities. It required an immense effort to construct the UWCs, which is my cool future acronym for underwater cities.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, you gotta have a cool name for things.
It's so sci-fi to like give it like
yeah.
We're in the UWC, bro.
So it took an immense effort to make them and ensure that they had bare minimum for human occupation. Thus, the sustainability of resources such as food and building materials is at a bare minimum as well. This necessitates trips to the surface to replenish supplies, while the UWC governments work on building more farms and mines. So, like, they had just enough to kind of save people from dying in the terrible disasters, but they're like, we're really scraping by, guys, this is not ideal. So
we're at the bare minimum, guys.
Yeah, it's like, you didn't die, but you're, like, super rationed and surrounded by the pressure of the ocean. So, these surface expeditions are carried out by they're both carried out by official military personnel as well as independent contractors. Operating through the military means better equipment and plans, but less profit, since the military will just requisition everything you get and give you a salary. Operating as an independent contractor is much riskier, but the rewards are not claimed by the military, and the bar to entry is much more lenient than undergoing military training. You can basically just sign up as a civilian and be like, I'm willing to go up there, and then the things you get back, you have to, like, I guess you sell it to the government, basically, so you make a lot more money.
Yeah.
Generally, civilians who choose to work as surface contractors have a chance to bring in wealth and resources to their family, and it is the only way to get around the rationing laws. Aside from, I was also thinking, like, since I want scuba diving to be a thing, that could also be a way, like, that people risk their lives by going in like, private, small submarines to go scuba dive at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, they, like, go as deep as they can to pull stuff up. Yeah.
But it's, like, just as risky, if not more risky, than going to the surface because ocean pressure and stuff.
Yeah.
So the book plot is set 50 years after the establishment of the UWCs. We follow a young adult boy living in the American Pacific UWC. So, okay, I made a note at the bottom, but I'll just explain it now. America has two underwater cities, one in the Pacific Ocean and one in the Gulf. The Gulf City is home to many South Americans as well, but is officially governed by the US. There is a South American-run UWC off the west coast of Chile in the Pacific Ocean. There is a large UWC in the Atlantic Ocean run by Europe. just like all of them, because they don't really have
Europe's
that
pretty
much
much
ocean.
one place.
Yeah. A city is in the Indian Ocean, run by a combination of African countries, the UAE, and India. China has the largest UWC, which is also in the Pacific Ocean. And then there are 2 minor UWCs, one run by Australia and one run by the government of South Africa off of their coast. I was like basically just looking at a map and being like, where could there be a city underwater? And who would control them? But yeah, I think China, Europe, and America are like the biggest players. And then there's smaller cities that are run by combinations of countries, because they're like, we didn't have enough resources to build it totally by ourselves.
We pulled our resources together. Yeah, I love the idea of ocean animals also being a threat to the scuba divers. Humans are prey
like,
now.
Oh, fuck a shark. Yeah, it would definitely be that whole like fear of the depths would be a big theme. But what was I think? Oh, Aaron was giving me a lot of flack about how these cities would work. I say, don't think about it too much.
I mean, okay, in typical YA fashion, don't think too hard about it. Think about the message, don't think about the mechanics of it, because there's a lot of things that happen in, like, even Hunger Games where you're like, mechanically, that's not how that works! It's not how that works! So you're just like, don't think about it. I'm trying to make a comment on capitalism.
The point of why I don't delve too deep. Yeah, right? I'm like...
It's more about an exciting big adventure with, like, a really thinly veiled metaphor.
Yeah. The cities are a metaphor, don't worry about it. So... what was I saying? Okay, yeah. So he's living in the American Pacific UWC. So he's like basically a California boy. Just like me, for real.
For real. California represent.
Which is also what I did with my YA thing last time. I was like, yeah, she's from San Diego. Because
you write what you
write
know.
About a place that
you
I don't
gotta
live
write
in.
what you know. You know? Come on.
So this boy is close to finishing his education and plans to become a surface contractor to better support his mother and younger brother. His father had done the same thing when MC was a young boy, but his father unfortunately died. MC believes that he will be better than his father and succeed where he failed. So MC is in contact with a group of surface contractors, like, that he's been like, yeah, I'm gonna join you once I graduate and get my license. Woohoo, I can't wait. But due to shenanigans, he ends up going on an expedition with them despite not being finished with his schooling and not being officially licensed. So he ends up in, like, I imagine there's like a fucking pod that goes up to the surface, and he's like, oh, due to various reasons, I'm hiding on this pod and I'm going with them now. So their journey to the surface takes him to the Pacific Northwest, an area where there is relatively less danger compared to the rest of the continent, because I imagine it's like less earthquakey, less fiery. It's mostly just like rainy. Yeah.
We gotta love it.
Yeah, it's probably like flooded. That's the main risk. But
fair enough. That's a pretty good risk compared to fire and earthquake.
Yeah.
Just water.
And
they're like, we're
hurricane.
from the underwater. Like, this isn't a problem for us.
Yeah. So they go to retrieve lumber, ore, and food, like scavenging for old manufactured food, basically. But MC experiences some exciting moments and close brushes with dangerous wildlife. But ultimately, the mission is successful. That would take a long time in the book. It would be a big thing.
A
but
big
don't worry
chunk
about
of it, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Little did they know the gators. Yeah. He like fights off a bear or something. So he returns to the underwater city with his successful bounty with his friends, but before he's able to officially enter the city and return home, he is apprehended for his unlawful participation in an expedition. While he is getting booked and lamenting the fact that his foolishness will cause problems for his family, something strange happens. The warning sirens for the entire UWC begin blaring, and it is revealed that the structural integrity of the city has been compromised. Mass panic breaks out as people swarm the streets trying to reach evacuation pods. MC is taken by one of the police, who had a soft spot for kids, to reach safety, but the walls are caving in far faster than anyone expected. MC ends up at a docking area of sorts where he and the cop helping him have to use diving equipment to move out through the open ocean to reach an outpost where a submarine is stationed. MC gets to the sub safely and helps others, who are mostly officers and government workers who know about this station, helps them like get into the station and board the sub. The MC is extremely distraught about the fate of his mother and brother. As the submarine takes off towards the nearest settlement, he watches the American Pacific UWC completely collapse under the crushing pressure of the ocean. Everyone dies. So they end up seeking refuge at the Chinese UWC, which is on the other side of the Pacific Ocean. And the plot continues from there. Vague plot after that. I defined some love interests. MC is bisexual, so there's 2 love interests. One of them is a girl from his surface contractor group that he had gone on the crazy journey with. She's a couple years older than him, but they grew up together, and they're like basically besties.
You
but
gotta
they start
have the
to fall in
best
love.
friend love interest.
Yeah. Right? And she's like a cool fucking surface expeditioner. She's like super good at fighting and tactical
she's like
maneuvering.
a tactical friend who's like, I can get a to safety, babe, with my buff arms. He's like, whoa.
She had also made it to the Chinese UWC on a separate evacuation ship, so she's in the story. Second love interest is an Asian guy from the Chinese UWC who is the same age as MC and ends up coming along with the group on their journey.
Nice.
And then there was the other side. Yeah, he's like, wow, someone just like me. But yeah, that's all I wrote for my thing.
It's great.
Underwater adventure. I imagine the plot would be something like he's going to each fucking UWC and they're all getting like compromised and being destroyed, and humanity's like being
falling apart,
cut off one by one. Yeah, so he's like, they end up like on the surface at some point and they're like, we're gonna die for sure, but then they find like one of these subterranean bunkers and they're like, oh my god, refuge.
Whoa, but, that's cool. I love the concept. How do UWCs prevent the rising crisis of population increasingly becoming attracted to the nearby fish line? Not a problem.
They encourage it, in fact. They're like, yes, you love your fish wife.
Yeah. Your best friend is who you develop romantic feelings for, so it never gets awkward.
Madam President, do you care to comment? Madam President is too busy making sweet love to her fish wife, so she has nothing to say.
Fish wives are on the mind. Mermaids are real. Okay, that was our Dystopian YA. That was fun. I think it's funny to try to tackle like trilogy-esque themes when we do these prompts, because they take a lot of world building that we then have to be like, hold on, magical school. It's set like this. Like, you just like really, there's a lot of world building. And then we come up with a full plot on top of it. But okay, back to some shorter, smaller scope prompts. The next one I have is, where is it? Okay. Boop, boop. Take a mundane, real thing, event that happens to you, and twist it into a fantastical situation. And then this bonus is either fun or scary, your choice. And I did not read Evelyn's, so I do not know what she's gonna say.
Okay, mine is stupid.
Okay, mine's pretty stupid too, so like, we're good.
Yeah, it's
after horror. I wrote the whole dystopian thing, I was like, I don't know. That was all my creativity.
Yeah.
The movie Underwater with Kristen Stewart? No.
No. Is it exactly like my plot?
Kristen Stewart is that bisexual guy. No.
Yeah.
Can we cast Kristen Stewart as the bisexual guy in the movie adaptation?
Oh, yeah, we definitely can. We're like, all right, like, Kristen, get your really short wig
hair. On. Yeah, and just pretend to be a boy. Horror movie for October, let's watch it. Dude, it's a scary movie? That sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay, Evelyn, tell us about your mundane thing. That could be a fantastic thing.
It's a scary thing, and it's basically just based on like a thing that happened to me. So here it goes. I am walking my dog late at night. It's the first time I've stepped outside the house today. I don't particularly enjoy going out in public. This is just me. It's literally me.
Just literally me. You're like, oh, literally me though.
I'm just describing myself. Thankfully, in this digital age, I'm able to satisfy all requirements of life from the comfort of my own home. Walking the dog, however, requires going outside, and therefore must be done under the cover of night in order to avoid the typical neighbors and passerby one might encounter during the day. Jaffa's why made me think. Okay, yes, sorry, I'm getting distracted. I breathe in the brisk night air and continue to keep pace with my dog, who is eagerly pulling on her leash in her excitement to move forward. Our usual walking route is along a main avenue where the sidewalk is spacious and shielded from the rows of nearby houses by a concrete wall, as well as plenty of grass and landscaping. We make our way down the sidewalk, progressing along the empty street in relative silence for a while. It is when we turn from the main road back into the residential block that something interesting catches my eye. A newspaper lies at the start of the first driveway from the corner. It seems the person living there forgot to pick it up this morning, or perhaps is away on a trip and failed to cancel their paper delivery. While uncommon, it is not an unusual occurrence, and I quickly turn my attention away to continue down the sidewalk towards home. However, I immediately notice something that gives me pause. The next house also has an untouched newspaper sitting in the driveway, this time closer to the front entrance. A coincidence? Suspecting something afoot, I ushered my dog forward to see the third house on the street, and yes, there is a newspaper there as well. We reached the end of the street, and I confirmed that each house seems to have a newspaper sitting in their yard or driveway, waiting to be opened. The only issue is, it's the middle of the night. Of course, newspapers are normally delivered before dawn, but no paperboy should be riding his bike around the neighborhood at this hour, tossing papers into lawns in the dead of night. I turned the corner with my dog, moving deeper into the neighborhood, and strained my eyes in the darkness. Every single house lining both sides of the long road has a paper in their yard. The scene gives me an eerie feeling. It's almost as if not a single soul has left their house since yesterday. As if the sun rose and set today without a single person outside to witness it. As I continue down the street of paper-strewn yards, I begin to wonder if anyone is inside these houses at all. The lights are out, of course. It's midnight after all. But will they turn on again, come the rising of those who start their day before dawn? Will the next batch of paper deliveries arrive in a handful of hours, adding to those papers left forgotten on the concrete? How long will it continue? Will anyone realize what is happening? Or am I the only one to bear witness? The only one left behind in this suburb that seems to... This suburb that seems to have been raptured or otherwise emptied, unaware of the single forgotten soul shut away during the day and left to the mercy of night.
I love it. So cerebral. Whoa. Wowee.
It's so stupid. It was literally because I was walking my dog on...
Yes.
It was like the night before a national holiday. So I was walking my dog at like midnight, and I was like, why the fuck are there papers everywhere? But then I was like, I guess because it's a holiday, the next day they delivered it like the night before. I don't know. I was very confused. Evelyn, I don't think papers are distributed by children anymore. Then who else would distribute them? We need child labor for newspapers.
What about the Newsies? Movie Newsies lied to me.
Newsies are children. They distribute newspapers. Such is the law of the universe. Men in vehicles? Ridiculous.
Nah, I don't think that's true. The only little, 1920s newsboys.
Yeah.
With maybe a bicycle with a comically large front wheel. That's the only kind of newspaper I want.
Yeah, maybe they can have a newspaper gun that fires the papers, but it has to be made of cardboard.
A very Kids Next Door inspired design choice.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Alrighty. Yeah, mine is kind of similar actually. So I'll just to be open and honest, for all of my public transit girlies out there, this is just about being on public transit. It's about when you fall. I don't know. This has happened to me many times when I'm on. Usually it's a train, it's on BART or I'm on the subway, where I will fall asleep, and then wake up, I didn't miss anything, but for whatever reason, everyone has gotten off the car, and you're just completely alone. It's very jarring to me. I'm always like, what the notebook. So that's the premise. But anyway. Also, this is prose. I wrote actual prose like you did, so it's not a concept.
Nice.
Unrelatable. Shut up to everyone who owns a car and has never been on public transit. I'm not talking to you. Okay. The rumbling of the subway falls under the sound of your favorite songs playing in your headphones. The soundtrack of your life, as curated by you. Looking up at the small LED sign that indicates your next stop, you realize that there's at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half with the current maintenance schedule, until you make it to the borough you call home. You look down at your phone, 70% charge. Shouldn't be a problem. This line will take you all the way home, so all you have to do is wait. 1 stops, 2 stops. Suddenly, you open your eyes. It must have been 5, 8 stops maybe? You still have a way to go. You can feel your eyelids drooping again. Sorry, I have to look at the chat. I live in places with bad public transit. Oh, okay.
Taking notes on everyone so I'm never confused by anything ever on the train.
What on earth are you saying, sir? Anyway.
Also, you're the most confused when you wake up from a sudden nap. You're like, I thought it was tomorrow.
You kind of are, though. Calm down, sir. Sir. Okay. You feel your eyelids drooping again. You wake up. The train has stopped in between 2 stations. The dark tunnel walls all
But I don't sleep on trains!
Okay.
But he does take naps everywhere else.
Yeah.
So, so scary. Like real life jump scare. Okay.
Yeah, I hear him like thundering down the hallway.
Yeah, his big old footsteps. Oh my god. So, sorry, what was I saying? The train has stopped between 2 stations, the dark tunnel walls, all you can see outside the windows. The LED sign keeps flashing the time in the next station. But the time is way off. You compare to your phone's time, and then you realize that you're alone. There doesn't seem to be a soul in the train car with you at all. Taking your headphones from your ears, the train is similarly silent. You sit for a moment, waiting for some sort of announcement or statement on the screen, but nothing. Everything seems to show that the subway is running fine, though from how quiet it is, you can tell that nothing is running. Confused and feeling a bit bold, you gather your backpack, phone in hand, and take a look through the doors that connect the cars. The one behind seems to be pitch black, and you can't make anyone out through the glass. The other has the lights on, but what is seen gives you pause. There is one figure sitting in the seats in the next car, facing you. I totally lost my spot, sorry. There we go. It's just a wall of text. I did not put spaces in here. Its appearance is unfathomable in a way. While looking at it, you can't tell what color the skin, eyes, or hair of the thing is, but you can tell that it is looking straight at you. It seems to be waiting. When you look away, from the corner of your eye, you can tell that it seems like a person bundled up in a large black coat with the collar turned up, though the weather hasn't been quite cold enough for that as of yet. A quick glance beyond shows that the car just beyond the one with the figure is pitch black as well. You want to leave, to get away from this thing and out of this subterranean hellscape, but, as always, there's no service on your phone down here. The only access you have is to the music you'd previously downloaded, and that's about it. You look back to the figure in the other car as you approach the set of doors separating you. It sits with an eerie stillness, waiting, its eyes, you feel more than see, boring into you. You look up at the small screen in the next car and see a message welcoming you by name flash across. You mean to look back to the figure, but the lights of the other car go dark, leaving only the illuminated sign welcoming you in the other car. You suddenly feel a cold, freezing air breathed onto your neck. There's a rotting sort of smell that accompanies it, and you can sense something standing behind you. It's so close it presses your backpack up to you the same way it feels when the subway is packed around you. You glance your eyes side to side, but don't see anything else. Just feel the thing breathing and standing right behind you. It seems you've waited too long. Your choice had been made. Dreading what you find, you turn around. And that's the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
So scary.
Yeah. And that's the feeling I feel every time I wake up on the subway train and there's no one in there. I get really scared. No, I'm just kidding. I don't feel that much. There's not that much fear. I just kind of was writing it. It was gonna be like you just wake up and it's creepy, and then I kind of just kept writing, and then I was like, well, there's a guy now. Oh my god, he's doing creepy shit.
Yeah, it feels like that Subway game. That scary
Yeah,
game Squad played.
that Japanese Subway game. Yeah, I was like, wow, that game is indicative of how I feel on Subway all the time. Also,
Yeah.
not necessarily when I was in Japan, because I wasn't writing it by myself, but okay, what? Okay, so our next prompt is you, and by that meaning us, are an NPC. What is your quest for the PC, the player character? And what kind of quest line would you give? What does the PC get in the end for doing it? Bonus, if you're in a fantastic setting, please explain. I did not necessarily set mine in a fantastic setting. Mine's in a vague setting.
Yeah, mine's in modern day.
Mine, I think, I was thinking modern day, but you could set it in a something else. Like, you could easily tweak it to make it something else. So I read next, yes, because I read last. Where is it?
Yeah.
Where did I write? NPC. M. Okay, this is so stupid. This is me in a video game. Imagine you're in like a big city, but it's like Red Dead Redemption, where there's just like, it's like open world, there's like lots of random shit happening all the time. That's kind of the game I'm envisioning, like a very RPG kind of. So my character is always dressed in like a noticeable way, so like clearly you're like, that guy's gonna give me a quest. And she's always in a rush with some kind of paper in hand, and if you get close enough you can hear me muttering about how it's not working, but it's close. Engaging in a dialogue, you find out that I'm a student working on my grad thesis. Very creative.
Wow.
On my grad thesis, hence my manic energy, and that I don't have the time or money to eat as much as I should. My quest is to—
You're like the researchers in Charlian.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. So my quest is to bring me snacks or matcha lattes every day for 15 days. Like 15 in-game days, you have to bring me some food. So this starts out as the most fetch quest of side quests, but the more interactions you have with me, the more lore you get about the project that I'm working on. Oh, thanks, you're a lifesaver. People in the lab just get under my skin sometimes, but once I get past the issue with the project— Oh, chocolate? That's the stuff. I'm so close to a breakthrough, I can feel it in my soul. What do you have today? A sandwich? Well, if I'm not eating like royalty today, I finally got the thing to work, haha. My fucking lab mates thought it couldn't be done. I'll show them what's just theoretical. And so on the 15th day, you find my character is waiting for you and she's not in a rush at all. So then I invite you to a cafe that I like and we have a full conversation for the first time. The player can ask questions about the project, and which I told you is just completed. Is this a cry for help? No. This is fun. This is art imitating life. So let's see. I just tell you that the project's been completed. You get very quickly that I have spent the semester summoning something primordial and ancient that has been referenced in myth and recently explained in part by science. The two of us finish our cafe foods, and then I hand you a strange artifact, and I say, I couldn't have done it without you. Quest complete! You get an achievement called What Have I Done? And a horn to summon the primordial creature. This creature will now wander the map and destroy things, essentially becoming an optional boss, but you can decide if you want to leave it trampling. It's gonna destroy the lower level zones as you progress, or you could go fight it as an optional boss, and maybe it drops something crazy like an ancient weapon, or it gives you some buff or some shit for the rest of the game. And then finishing my quest also unlocks dialogue options for the rest of the game about the monster that you set on the loose. So,
wow.
I like that it seems like a quest you would skip, but if you don't skip it, it's like gives you something crazy. It's a quest I would personally skip because I hate fetch quests. So I wanted to make it a quest that I would not get to the end of. All right.
Yeah, I love like scientist quests where they're like, I'm so fucking busy doing this crazy shit. And you're like, what? And they're like, no, nothing's wrong. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I also like that it's like, help me, I need snacks. And then it's like, anyway, thanks for letting me summon fucking literally demons into the world. That was what I was trying to do. It reminds me of a quest that you would get in Sinking City, the Lovecraftian game. Almost all the quests are like, oh, help this old lady cross the fucking street. And then she's like, anyway, I'm gonna go kill my enemies. You're like, what the fuck, Grandma? Everyone does that. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
Your NPC. I'm playing.
My
What type of
NPC
game is it
quest.
in?
It's in like an RPG Maker game where it's pixels and it's just set in like in this town where we're living right now. It's set in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Modern day Bay Area. You're doing a game. It's like some other quests. You're trying to, I don't know, save the world, something stupid.
We could be in the same game. Our quest, our two characters could be in the same game.
Yeah, they honestly could. So the required context of my quest is that you have to be a male. Because I was, I really had our audience in mind. So when I was writing this, if I had to make it universal, I'd have to change the quest. So anyways, if you're playing the game, you're a man.
It's like
you
Persona,
find me,
it's just like a set character.
yeah, you are Joker.
Yeah.
You find me at midnight, crouched in front of a 7-Eleven. I tell you, I need to get a rare out-of-print figurine that's being sold at a local anime convention, but I don't have the money to buy both the figure and get into the con. I do, however, have knowledge that the local butler cafe is in need of a substitute butler for tomorrow's show, due to their regular member falling into a patch of poison oak. I don't know why I wrote that.
I feel like you did that. I feel like you attacked this butler.
I think I was trying to think of something that would make a guy unable to like do a job that requires his looks, and I'm like, well, if he's covered in hives from poison oak, he can't do it. Your task is to enter the con using the butler's cosplay guest badge and get to the dealer's hall to purchase the figurine. Actually working the shift as the butler or at the butler cafe is optional, but if you choose not to do so, then your reputation with the butler group will be permanently tarnished. If you do work the cafe butler shift, you discover that a male coworker from your regular day job is also working at the cafe and is actually one of the most popular butlers of the whole group. This unlocks a side quest with him. Completing the figurine quest involves a valiant battle against the raging masses of convention hall attendees, including anime-style fight scenes against individuals shittily cosplaying well-known shonen protagonists like Naruto and Luffy.
I loved that little detail that you're fighting the cosplayers for the figure.
Yeah. The figurine you buy from me turns out to be so lewd that it's completely covered in censor bars and just looks like a black rectangle. The reward for this quest is a vintage, retro video game cartridge, in Japanese language only, and if you chose to work the butler shift, a butler uniform. That's all I wrote for mine.
I love it. That's such a good quest. It's so funny. It's definitely like one of those that would be like a weird thing. I love that you're hunched in a 7-Eleven parking lot. I love that that's where you pick up the quest.
Yeah, I
so
just like,
good.
I'm sitting there and you're like, what? And I imagine my character just stares at you until you talk to me.
Yeah, you're just like little goblin, like little gremlin guy. You're like, anime figures though. I gotta get him. I need that Miku.
I will say it wouldn't be a lewd female figurine. Those are a dime a dozen. It would be a lewd male figurine,
Yeah,
which is
those
the
are
true
rare.
rare find. Yeah.
In fact, Twisted Wonderland. No, I'm just kidding. Even more obscure.
Yeah, it's idiot, all chained up, dong out,
Dong
impossible to
out,
find.
gross. Oh my god. But no, that's great. I love that it's like a black box too, because you're like, what is it? And it's just like
Yeah, you don't even get to see what it is.
You don't
You're
know
just
what
like,
it is. Like,
what is this? And I'm
Yeah.
like, thank you so much, sir,
the
for
deep
this $500 figurine.
the deep cut at the end of the game is like our two NPCs going into the same apartment, and they're like, wait a second. Wait, I did those quests for both of those. They're two really different weird people. We're like, yeah, we're roommates, you know that?
Yeah, the room's full of anime and eldritch creatures.
Eldritch anime. We love it. All right, so the last, like, original prompt that we have for today is to create a horror monster. This is one that we did last year, and it's just a favorite of mine. I love monster creation. It's kind of a fun, weird, it's hard to think of a monster that's not just like, it's a ghost, you know, like, or it's something I've heard of before, but something that's like kind of original, playing, I mean, there's nothing truly original, but you know, something that's not just like, it's a dog, don't think about it, you know?
Yeah.
So, I wrote, create a horror monster. Include where one learns about the creature, where one would find and encounter the creature, and any rules that the creature has. You know, it's got vampire rules.
That. I forgot about the things I was supposed to include.
What did you say?
I didn't write the like rules and stuff.
That's
but that's
fine.
Okay.
I like kind of didn't answer the whole entire prompt also, so you could just answer it like outside of the writing.
Yeah.
There's ad-lib moments.
Yeah.
When you're ready.
Okay. So my monster is a creature that begins its existence in your psyche. Each time you're in a dark room and see something strange out of the corner of your eye, only to look closer and realize it's just a misplaced coat or overlapping shadows, the creature gains power. The longer you stare into the dark corners and watch the shapes shift and morph, the closer the creature gets to completely manifesting. Gradually, as the creature grows in power, you lose your ability to distinguish what you're seeing without the aid of light. Shadowed corners squirm with insects. The edges of the road that lie just outside your headlight beams become filled with grotesque lumps and elongated limbs that reach desperately for your tires. The unlit doorway to your room bulges with pitch-black twitching masses that amalgamate into a tall, distended silhouette. Your eyes swim through every dark shadow and find humanoid forms without fail. Keep staring and the creature will slowly begin to creep out of the darkness, slithering or limping or crawling towards you, no longer deterred by the light. By the time the creature has gained enough strength to approach you directly, it is already too late to stop it. So, try to avoid spending too much time staring at strange shapes in the dark, lest they truly become what you had feared them to be.
Ooh, I like it. I love a thing that's in your mind but then becomes real. I guess like
right?
Tulpa scary. But it's very cool.
Yeah, I like insanity, but in a fictional sense, not real insanity, because that's scary.
That's too scary. That's too much for me.
But for the prompt, include where one learns about the creature. I imagine you don't learn about it.
It just
You just
happens, yeah.
accidentally, you're like, what is that thing that I'm looking at? And then it starts walking towards you, and you're like, oh my god. And any rules, just don't look into the dark for too long. That's the rule.
That's the rule. Easy peasy. Don't look in the dark or that thing will get you.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So mine is more of a physical thing than it is a mental thing. Although yours is both, let's be honest. So, you know how, in a dream, you see a person and your mind fills in that it's a friend, but it has absolutely no resemblance, either in appearance or in name, to a real person that you know? That's kind of the concept.
Yeah.
So this creature exists, and it is your friend. At any point in your day to day, you can become drawn... you can be drawn from spacing out and daydreaming to meet with a person who you initially think is a stranger, but upon looking at the unknown face or engaging in conversation, you realize that the two of you had been friends once. Was it in this life? Was it in a dream? Was it maybe when you were very young before you moved away? Who could say? But you feel a strange connection to the creature, to the friend. But now, friends are friendly, and what sort of issue could arise from one too many friends? Not many. The friend doesn't ask for much, does not seek material goods, only you. only your company. But this friend flits in and out of your life over the years and only chance momentary meetings in the long run. There is a chance that it may ask you for something. Keep in mind that it may bring its fateful questions surrounded by gifts for you or some other method of support, an offer for the last bit of money you need for that down payment, a friend who is hiring for that position you're trying to jump to. But at the heart of the friend's support is a question. If you could find the time in your busy day, could you meet a friend of mine? My friend seems lonely, spacing out all the time, falling into bouts of daydreaming. But of course, this was your friend. Why wouldn't you help meet the lonely soul? You go to the arranged meeting time and see the absent-minded person who was described to you. Your friend hasn't shown up, but you don't need the introduction. This person clearly needs help. You approach, and the look on the other's face is one of confusion at first. Then a realization washes over them. A recognition. "Oh, I haven't seen you in a while," your new friend exclaims. You are drawn to your new friend, and a feeling comes over you that this is what you're supposed to do. You've always been a friend to this person. And you always will. So, yay, end of story. Yeah, so I like the idea that it was like a weird thing that exists and wanders around, but also turns you into that thing, like vampire or werewolf rules, where it's like you get bit by a thing, you become it. But like through just like being really weird, you know, it's just like comes up every once in a while, and you're just like, "Hey, buddy," and it's like, "Hello, you are my friend." Yeah, very inspired by like the man with the briefcase or the man in the trench coat from Night Vale, where it's like when you look away from him, you kind of don't remember what he looks like, but you're like, we all know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And I like that he's just making a support network, really.
Yeah, it's also, it's kind of like, it could be malicious, but there's no obvious maliciousness to it. It's just a weird thing that makes, also, yeah, because I don't know, whenever I'm zoning out, and then someone, like, starts talking to me, I'm always like, what? Hello? Why did you talk to me? Like, clearly did I look like I was supposed to be talked to? And so I like the idea that it looks for people who are zoning out. When I'm most scared. Again, I'm just writing about what I'm afraid of. So, people coming up and talking to me is the thing I'm afraid of. Okay. Oh, wow. You read yours, right? Okay. Are we on the next one? That's okay.
Yes.
Okay.
On the last thing.
So the last prompt of the day is not to create, but to copy. So we have to take a sample of what we wrote earlier, any of the ideas that we wrote earlier, and write it in the style of another writer or a different method than what we did. So I peeked at Evelyn's and kind of copied. And I decided to make it an Am I the Asshole on Reddit style is the style I chose. Because I thought that was funny to do like an internet one. So, and also mine is directly based off the one before. It's about the friend. So.
It's good.
Am I the asshole for not wanting to meet my best friend's friend? Meet my 28 female friend, question mark, wants me to meet a good friend of theirs. So me and this friend have known each other for a long time, like practically my whole life. I don't really know when it started, lol. And they've been really nice, or they've really been there for me during the rough times. I used to work at a store and they'd come in all the time and buy something small, just chat with me. It really helped me get through retail. If you know, you know. Even now, my friend is loaning me some money from the down on my new car, but I was asked to meet their friend, and, like, I just kind of don't want to. Like, this is my best friend. I'd, like, die for them, but this feels like a whole thing, so what do you guys think? Am I the asshole?
Yes, you should be nicer to your friend.
I know, I'm like, I just want to phrase this like the person's clearly the asshole, but the situation is that they're being manipulated by an actual monster.
Yeah, it's so good.
That's how like every Am I the Asshole reads, it feels like too.
Yeah. Yeah, all the comments would be like, more context, please?
More
Like, who
context.
is the friend that they're asking? And you'd be like, they're like, why don't you know how old your friend is?
Right? Yeah, me, my friend, question mark, question mark, question mark. I don't know how old they are. I don't know what gender or sex it is. Honestly, couldn't describe them to you if I had to. Alrighty. What did you write? Which idea and what style?
So, yeah, I did my silly newspaper story as a 2012 DeviantArt journal entry.
That's such a blast from the past. I love and hate that you did that. We were all there. We were in the front lines. We were in the trenches together.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's gonna... A lot of this is visually based with
Yeah,
the, like, spelling and everything.
When you read
but
it, yeah. But that's
I'll
okay.
do my best to convey that through my words.
It's kind of like, imagine like uwu and leet speak and like creepy asterisk. It's all of that.
And lots of emoticons.
Lots of emoticons.
Okay, so the DeviantArt journal goes, I was walking Ted Doggo last night at midnight cause IR so random, lols XD. I don't go outside during the day cause I am like Edward T. He's so smexe, lol. Edward says, what? Me? Nosebleeds. I love you, please bite me. Edward, what the fuck? Get away from me? Anyways, the doggo and I was walking when I saw that everyone had newspapers in their yard. Nani? Is everyone being a baka and forgetting to pick up their newspapers? Maybe all my
Oh my god.
Maybe all my neighbors got S-burped? Lols, did Hussy take my neighbors and forgotten me? Sad face? Me, oh no, please take me too. Hussy, no. Me, please. Glomps. Hussy and Edward kills me. Lols. So that's my journal entry.
That is so good. And like, if you were not on DeviantArt or any related type of where the young teenagers of the time would share their feelings way too publicly, that was accurate. That was like a historical time capsule. I can't wait until historical fiction takes place in the year 2012 and the early 2000s, and that's just like the speak we are like, remember when the girls used to say all these lols.
Yeah, I know. I especially
so random.
Yeah, I especially loved how people back then would just have the characters like say things to them in the middle of their journal and be like, I'm having a conversation with this character now, but I'm role-playing it with myself, and also they're extremely out of character because I want them to like
be so
It was
random.
always like the character hated them.
No, yeah, it was definitely
I hate what you're doing.
Yeah, you'd always be. I remember I did this too, because I did this too, which is like funny and cringe at the same time. But yeah, you'd be like, oh my god, this is so cool. I'm just like this character that I like. And then the character would come in and be like, oh my god, you're such a stupid bitch. Like, no, you're not like me at all. You'd be like, oh my god, but I love you. And then they'd be like, oh my god, I'm gonna kill you right now. And you're like, okay. And then you keep talking. Like, in the middle, you just do a little roleplay with yourself. And I don't know why that was normal. Because that's kind of insane.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Yeah, but the characters would always hate you. They were never like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come in and be nice to you. They're always like, why are you such a depressed loser? LOL. And you're like, oh, I am.
It was like expected that all characters would hate their fans, especially the fangirls, and they'd be like, oh, I hate that you ship me with another character. Oh, I hate it. And you're like, wow, it's my OTP. This is so fun.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Definitely seeing the DeviantArt journal reminded me. I'm like, oh, what if I did a Reddit post?
Yeah, right? I'm like, it's so hard to imitate styles of like actual literary geniuses. Let me just do a fucking stupid internet writing style.
I was thinking about doing, trying to copy Sarah J. Maas.
Oh my god.
Because Sarah J. Maas is a really distinct voice, but the thing was like, I didn't have enough characters to sexualize
God.
In any of my, because okay, if you've never read
done the Mary Sue.
Oh, I should have done that. That would have been pretty funny. That probably would have been good. But anyway, like if you've never read a Sarah J. Maas book, like it's very like every time a character comes in, especially if it's a male character. I mean, I've only read the Throne of Glass series, but if every time a character shows up, you immediately know like how like freaking how many abs do they have? Are their muscles rippling through their shirt? You will know. You will know if they are or if they're not. Mostly, and if they are, it's because they're hot. You will know like how steely is his gaze. Like just like every character, even if it's like the dad character, he'll be like anyway, because it's never like they're all like orphans and shit, so it's like my father figure walked in covered in sweat from training. You can see his fucking muscles bursting through his shirt as he flexed to take off his fucking glasses, and you're just like, what? This is the dad. Who's supposed to be hot for who? Is this the mental dialogue of the character thinking about their own dad? Because like it's just weird because it's also like third person limited to the main character, and I'm like, you should really be third person omniscient, so it's not like the main character's thoughts we're seeing this. It should be really limited, but she doesn't, so I think it's funny that the characters just sexualize everyone else right away. Or if it's a girl, you always know like how much of a like stupid pick-me she is, because like she's wearing normal girl clothes and I don't, because that's stupid, and I'm not a petty bitch. Like literally the whole time I'm like, oh my god, okay. So yeah, I should have done that with my Mary Sue. She would have been really funny.
Yeah.
I'll have to do a bonus, right?
Yeah, just post it in the Discord, no context.
No context. Like, people will be like, what is this? And I'll be like, should have been there at the stream. Alright, T.O. So we read all the things we wrote.
Yep.
That was a lot of writing we did.
It's fun.
It's
I like writing silly things.
Yeah, it's great. It's a fun way to pass the time. I feel like a person of yesteryear where you're just like, anyway, we gathered around and wrote our own stories because there's no other form of entertainment. But yeah, so like we said, this is all in preparation, in hype, in marketing for the Halloween Writing Showcase that is coming up. Boop, 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 there it is. So yeah, if you are interested in joining the Halloween Showcase, like anyone can do it pretty much. Just join the Discord for the one thing. So join the Discord, and all of the information and submission stuff is in the Discord. We are taking submissions as of now, and we'll take them up until like midnight the day before. And if you really want to push it, you could try to push it like 1-2 a.m. But like, we will cut it off at some point, but you're playing with fire once you hit midnight of the night before. After that,
as long as I'm still awake, I will accept it.
Because I will definitely be doing a really weird crunch right before, trying to gather all the stories and see who's gonna read what. So I will be up very, very late, but once I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go to sleep because I have to do this stream tomorrow, and I don't see it, we're gonna miss it. But yeah, it's exciting. What are the prizes? So we have 4 categories. No, we have 2 categories. We have 4 prizes, right? So each category, we have the short story category, and we have the 2-sentence horror story category. And so there's pretty much 2 winners from each one. There's like the main winner and like a runner up, and everyone gets a prize. So I'm just gonna pull the poster up again really quick. So the the short story winner is our grand prize, and you can win anything off of the merch store. We will let you pick anything off of the merch store, and we're adding new Halloween stuff onto it. It's not reflected yet, but it's coming. Using our stickers, it'll pretty much be this type of art that you can get on other things. But yeah, so you can get it off the merch store. For the runner-up of the short story prizes, you can get a tote bag. Again, we have a lot on the merch store, so you can get any kind that you like, and I have one right here as a sample. This is the bag of Bardic Inspiration, and we have the Bardic Inspiration die on the front, on the back. So you could get something like this, or there's other ones, but they're all vaguely the same type of thing. Go ahead and take a look. Again, if you're on the Discord, we have the merch store links, so you can just look through those and see. You get a tote bag also for winning the 2-Sentence Horror Story prize, the main prize, and for the runner-up of the 2-Cents Horror Story, you get to win a mug. And again, any choice of mug on the merch store. So this is my Let's Do Science one, where we have a space girl, and it just says, let's do some science. This is an old version, but it's pretty much the same in the new one. So yeah, we've got a bunch of different types of mugs. We've got a bunch of different types of things on there, and those you get if you win any of the big prizes, and if you win any, but just for participating, we have stickers. These are stickers from last year, but you do get at least 2 stickers. One is just for the showcase in general. This was the last year. Again, this is the one that's a pumpkin this year. And then you get to pick some of these styles. So we're gonna have these ones available, as well as the girl, the Halloween girl that is new. There she is. Put them all up at the same time. Yeah. So we'll have these available. You can pick your favorite one and get it for free just for submitting anything. You get stickers. So that is what's at stake.
Just write 2 sentences and you get free stickers.
Literally, yeah. If you just want to write a 2-sentence, it doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be good. I'm gonna read it on the stream. But like, you could just write like, I went to school today. Today is Saturday. I would be a little upset if you wrote exactly that, but if you wrote that, that does count as a 2-sentence horror story, and I will give you stickers for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's literally no, it's super easy to do, it's super fun, it's gonna happen. If you don't want to write, you can just show up. If you want to buy some of the merch is all available for purchase. So in case you want to spend money on it, you have the option to. If you're like, I'd rather give you money than do it for free and give you an essay, I'd rather do it instead of pay you, instead of give me homework, that's fine. You can trade me money too. That's
this is a world where you can pay your teacher instead of writing the essay.
Instead of writing the essay and get the thing you want, which is merch. But yeah, no, it's really cool. And if you want to see, for this is mostly for the YouTube audience, but if you're on stream still, we have the writing showcases from the last 2 years on YouTube. I'll repost them in the Discord too, so people can look at that. So you can watch what the showcase was. But also, if you don't want to watch us read them out loud, you can read them. They're all still in the Discord submission showcase text channel. You can go back and just read them at your leisure if you want to. So everything is chill. We vibin'. It's Halloween. It's October. We're in a spooky library. Pretend that's true. And yeah, it's really cool. I'm excited. And yeah, it's really fun. I promise you it's fun. Almost everyone who does it and writes their first story is like, oh, I had an idea for another story. Oh, I had an idea for another story. And that's just how it works, especially with the short format. So yeah, go for it. We are limiting it to 2 stories eligible for prizes this time.
Yeah.
But you know, I guess if there's more, we might read them, but we'll have to be like, which ones do you want us to judge? We might just read random ones. Because yeah, it was really long last year, and that was great, but I want more people to be able to do it, so we have to limit how many people can write what. Especially, like, I'll write up to the word cap, so, you know.
God.
Everyone I will write up to the word cap, and other people will too. I think I tend to write the longest ones, but I can't win, so. Also, it's not about the length, it's about the context.
We have to write stories, and we can't even win anything.
Yeah,
so.
We don't get anything. The only thing we get is we had to work on this artwork and make it for you guys and run the whole thing. So that's what we get to win. And then, yeah. But yeah, it's exciting. We're excited. I'm excited.
I'm excited.
Do you have any stories written for this yet? Or any ideas about yours? I don't think I have.
Yeah, I have like work in progress stories from previous years that I had given up on. So I'm probably gonna. There's one that I do want to finish that I think would be cool because I want to take it in a different direction now, but there is a possibility that I just abandon it and write a totally new one the night before like I did last fucking year, so who knows?
Yeah, I think I will probably continue the Slenderman fanfiction. Because I left it at a cliffhanger because I ran out of words that I was allowed to use.
Yeah.
So I'll probably finish that, or continue it. Maybe I'll write one. I'll feel like I'm gonna write Slenderman fanfiction forever. I started writing this in the first one, and I just kind of kept it up as a joke, and now I feel committed to it. But I wrote.
You'll make it onto the wiki eventually.
Yes, I should post them to my fanfiction site.
Yeah.
I should really post them up there just so they're in the public eye of internet, so people could be like, you write Slenderman and Asterion fanfiction? And I'll be like, well, to be fair, I've been writing Slenderman fanfiction for years, and only Asterion recently, so. Yeah, so if you like Slenderman Jeff the Killer stuff, that started as ironic and became so much larger than I intended. But I think I wrote 2 last year. I wrote this alien one, and then I wrote the Skibbity toilet one, so.
God.
The Skibbity one's one of my favorite stories of all time. It's so fucking funny.
It's really good.
So, yeah, we'll see what we do. I don't have any ideas right now for a new one, other than the Slenderman one, but we'll write something.
Reading the Skibbity toilet one actually like started to give me physical damage because I got a nosebleed.
She
afterwards.
got psychic damage from it. Yeah, like roll the clip.
It's like actually an eldritch incantation.
Yeah, it's like what Lovecraft says happens to you when you read the Necronomicon actually happened to her reading my story.
That was too powerful.
Yeah.
I think we need to put her in a box and never let her out.
No, don't do that. I'll just become more powerful. In my isolation, I'll become more powerful. But yeah, no, I'm excited about it. It's coming up. It really is. It's like one of those things I'm like, oh, Halloween, October, all that stuff, writing showcase. And we have pretty much 2 weekends, and then we're doing it.
God. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Yeah, so 2 weekends of writing time. But it should be good. Again, stoked. It's gonna be cool. So many things, so many ideas. Also, like, you know, it's Halloween. Like, guys, get ready. Like, get your fucking ghosts up. Get your pumpkins out. Get your Halloween costumes
Halloween.
Halloween.
Summon a ghost.
Summon a ghost.
With a Ouija board.
Ouija board. Go get Bloody Mary out of that mirror. Like, she's fucking stuck. She wants to go out. But okay. That's it for us right now. But, in fact, Jaffa will be returning. It's like the end of the Marvel credits. It says Jaffa will return. And in fact, Jaffa will return on the 14th of October. Do you have my permission to use the Ouija? Don't use the Ouija in the house. You can use it outside. Just go outside. That's all I ask. Just go outside and do it where everyone can see you. Jaffa will return on the 14th. It is a regular stream day for me. It's Monday Night Horror, and she will be here, and we're gonna play the game 12 minutes, which is it's a scary game, but not in the way you think it is. It's a time loop game. It's very cool. I've played it before, so I know what's up, so I'm just stoked to have her along for the ride. Have you played it, or do you remember hearing about it or anything?
I mean, I think I remember you telling me about it, but I don't remember anything about the game. I might remember, like, once we start playing it. But
yeah, that's okay.
Right now,
yep, so
I have no idea.
You're coming in a little bit blind, which is my favorite thing to hear. So yeah, she'll be here on the 14th, and so we're going to start the stream a little bit earlier to hopefully finish the entire game in the window, because I think we can get through it, but we'll see. And so that's cool. So Jaffa will be back, and you can follow Jaffa on Twitch, because she streams, and she's been streaming up again, and I'm trying to get her up to what is it, 50 followers I think you
Yeah, I
need to
think
get the thing.
50.
I'm trying to get her up to 50. She's getting there. So, at Jaffa Podplex on Twitch. You can do !Jaffa in the chat and get the link. But yeah, it's all good in the hood. So yeah, she'll be back. Halloween's happening. And let's see. I will be back for regular stream on Monday, and we are continuing to slay the princess. I keep forgetting if it's called Don't Slay the Princess or Slay the Princess.
Yeah, the game with Magnus Archives
and it
guy.
is Johnny Sims playing all the characters except for the princess, although I kind of wish he was the princess too, because I cannot get enough of Johnny Sims talking. I love that fucking archivist. What can I say? And yeah, so that's great. So I'll be back for regular streams. Jaffa will be back at some point, and she'll be streaming randomly. So again, join the Discord and you get notifications on when Jaffa's streaming, because she streams randomly and we love it. But it's like catching a rainbow. You just kind of have to be there when it happens, and it's beautiful and magical. But then you know, you don't know when it'll happen again.
It's very true.
Yeah.
I am allergic to schedules, because once I make something a schedule, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. So I have to keep it random.
You know what? That's fine, dude. We're gonna get you there. It's gonna be great. I will be there as much as possible. I have to stop taking naps in the daytime so I can catch her streams, because I keep missing them.
Just tell me whenever you're taking a nap, and I'll be like, oh shit, gotta wait for Elle to wake up.
Oh yeah, I'll just be like, Ella, I'm taking a nap right now. Don't stream for the next 2 hours. Okay. That's it for us. Drink water and eat food as a stay in your human form. And stay spooky.
Bye.
Bye. We did it.